Well, it is Monday, 7:39, the 10th of February, and I just wanted to come on here like I always do on Mondays and give you a little bit of an update at what you can expect for the week ahead because we do have some very active weather heading our way, a lot of rain coming, and maybe even a few strong storms by this weekend. So first and foremost, let's start out with your Monday. So as you're stepping out the door, calm conditions. Monday is going to be dry, and temperatures are actually feeling a little more like February. Of course, last week we tied a few record highs. This past Saturday it got up to 75, so we missed the record by 1 degree. So it's been very warm, and we're way above normal for February. But today, your highs are going to be a little bit closer to what you would expect for this time of the year. Mid 50s here across much of southeast Tennessee, North Georgia, northeast Alabama. So we're going to be closer to average. Going to be a bit on the cool side, a mix of sun and clouds, but all in all, it's going to be a nice day. Now, as we look at your satellite and radar, and keep in mind this was recorded earlier in the day, so this isn't going to be accurate if you're watching this afternoon or during the evening. But here's a look at your morning. Your Monday morning, we have some rain coming into the picture across Texas. That's where the system's going to start to emerge. We have some snow that'll break out across the nation's heartland, and then eventually into the mid-Atlantic, they'll get some snow showers. So your weather alerts, we don't have any flood watches as of yet. There are a couple for southern Kentucky. We have some winter storm warnings for parts of Virginia, West Virginia, and the mid-Atlantic. Winter storm watches from New Jersey over towards Kentucky, and then winter storm watches for Kansas and parts of Missouri and Nebraska all the way back towards Colorado. So the northern end of this system that's going to give us some heavy rain is going to lead to some pretty good snowfall totals to our north. Now, we're not going to have to deal with any winter weather, at least in the short term, but we are going to be tracking multiple rounds of rain. So across the Tennessee Valley, first rain comes in tomorrow through Tuesday night. We could pick up anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. Round 2, Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday night. So I think we get a bit of a break Wednesday morning, another 1 to 3 inches of rain possible. And then Saturday through Sunday morning, we could pick up another couple of inches of rainfall, maybe even some strong to severe storms. So again, a very active week about to set up. So we'll take a look at our in-house model. This only goes out about 36 to 48 hours, depending on what time of day it is. So throughout your Monday, again, just some clouds. Not a lot to show you here. Should stay dry. And then tonight and early Tuesday morning, we will have some rain coming back into the picture, especially north of Chattanooga initially after about 2 a.m. And then notice by 6 o'clock for your morning commute, there's going to be some scattered showers. Now, the heaviest rain probably going to be just to our north initially. And then by the afternoon, look at this. It becomes widespread. Looks like moderate to heavy rain will continue through much of the day on Tuesday. Maybe some wintry mix across portions of North Carolina. And as you zoom out, you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier. This is actually going to be a decent little winter storm for parts of Kentucky up through the mid-Atlantic where temperatures are just going to be cold enough. But notice for us, just going to be a rain event, maybe some stronger storms on the southern end of this, but generally just going to be a rainmaker across the Tennessee Valley, and that'll continue through early Wednesday morning. So that's about as far as our short-term model goes out. So we'll pick it up with one of our long range. Again, this is the GFS, but it still gives us a good idea of what's going to happen. Notice Wednesday morning, maybe a little bit of a break in the heaviest rain, still going to be some showers, but then it's going to pick back up in intensity throughout the day on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, the showers linger. By Thursday, we're finally going to get a break. So Thursday, and I'm thinking again on Friday, we're going to have some dry weather across the Tennessee Valley. As you zoom out, again, not a whole lot going on here. And then look what happens. Another low pressure develops, and we're going to have more heavy rain spreading across the Tennessee Valley, some snow across New England and parts of Chicago and the Great Lakes regions. But going into Saturday, I think we'll have a little more instability to work with. Going to have a pretty decent cold front coming through probably early Sunday morning. And along that frontal boundary, I wouldn't be surprised if we had some gusty winds and maybe some severe storms. Not a high risk. There's not going to be a ton of instability, but there's going to be a lot of wind shear. It's going to be a pretty strong cold front. So this time of the year, we have to watch these closely. So right now, I'm just going to watch Saturday and Sunday for severe potential. And then believe it or not, on the backside of this, we could have some high elevation snow Sunday afternoon into the evening as it is going to turn much colder. And that's going to be a wrap at least on the next 7 days. So that's kind of what you can expect. So rain Tuesday, Wednesday, and then again this weekend. And here's a look at your severe potential throughout this. So Tuesday, again, just a rainmaker, may not even have any thunder. Wednesday, a little more instability, so there could be some rumbles of thunder, but it looks like the severe threat stays in that dark green shade, so places like, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, closer to the Gulf. For us, I don't really anticipate too much in the way of severe weather either of those days, but there will be the flooding potential, of course. And then Saturday, we'll have to watch this area because they're already outlining severe weather potential across Louisiana, Mississippi, parts of Alabama, and this spreads all the way into northwest Georgia and southeast Tennessee, so Monteagle, Chattanooga, Dalton, Lafayette, Calhoun, Fort Payne, Scottsboro. This is very preliminary. Again, this is several days away, but it is something to keep in mind because we'll start to refine this over the next couple of days of who's going to get severe weather and what magnitude it's going to be. But right now, I'm already watching for it, so I want you to be prepared. And of course, as things change, we'll let you know. But that's kind of our severe potential. Really none through the middle of the week, but Saturday into Sunday, kind of the days we're watching. Now, the flooding potential is going to be there. So as we get into tomorrow, notice that yellow shade. That's level 2 out of 4 on the flooding threat issued by the WPC. And the same for Wednesday. Again, Wednesday is almost identical. So the same areas outlined with that slight flooding potential, which includes our entire coverage area. And look at this. This is our potential rainfall over the next 7 days. This is kind of average. 7 to 9 inches in the red, which is a ton of rainfall. Keep in mind, for the month of February, we average about 5 inches. So we're talking maybe 2 months worth of rain in just 7 days. So that is going to lead to some flooding concerns because we've been dry. There's going to be a lot of runoff initially. The ground at some point becomes more saturated, and as this runoff runs into those streams and those creeks, they start to swell, and by this weekend, they're going to be a little bit higher, and then with more rain coming Saturday into Sunday, that's going to elevate that flooding potential. So we'll keep a close eye on that in the short and medium terms. But here's a look at your futurecast rainfall. This is just the European model, just to show you that they're all in pretty good agreement that we're going to get a lot of rainfall. This is through this weekend, so anywhere from 6 to 8 inches in that purple with 5, 6, 7 inches in that red shade. So a lot of rain coming into the Euro. And then as we look at the GFS, which is another global model, again in that purple, 6 to 10 inches of rainfall with 4 to 6 across North Georgia. So both models picking up on very heavy rainfall. And you can look at just about anything, and it's just showing kind of a bullseye setting up across the Tennessee Valley. And again, I can kind of show you that again. As we zoom out, those reds, that's the highest rainfall amounts. There's going to be a lot across the entire southeast and mid-Atlantic, but as we zoom into our coverage area, it happens to kind of be where that bullseye might set up for the heaviest rainfall amount. So again, flooding potential will be there, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Keep in mind, this time of the year, the vegetation is not out, so the ground's not going to absorb as much of this, especially considering it's been so dry. And with these rainfall totals really starting to stack up by the weekend, that's where we could start to see some issues. And precipitation trend through the next 6 to 10 days still favoring wet conditions. So even after this weekend, we could have more wet weather next week. So we're not going to be done after Saturday and Sunday. That's just going to wrap up the next 7 days. So it looks like we could pick up quite a bit of rainfall this month. So I'll keep a close eye on that moving forward. But that's kind of just what you can expect for this week rainfall-wise. Now, temperature-wise, it is going to be cooler than last week. We're generally going to be in the low to mid-50s during these rainy days, and then the upper 50s during drier days, which we'll have on Thursday, Friday, and today, of course. But looking ahead, there could be some changes coming down the pipeline. Now, keep in mind, as we get further into February, our averages start to go up a little bit. So our average high by the end of the month, 59. So technically below normal would be low to mid 50s. But the 6 to 10 day temperature trend starting to favor some cooler weather trying to pull into the southeast. But look what happens as we get into that 8 to 14 day outlook. Well, it looks like that graphic has gone kaplooey. But it had a lot of blue on it. Just so you know, because there is going to be a bit of a pattern change coming up. So let's take a look at the upper level charts. This kind of gives us an idea of where the cold air may be located on the surface. So in the upper levels on February 14th, still going to be that mild flow coming out of the Pacific, a very active storm track, which means more rain will be coming into the picture as we get into the weekend. But Valentine's Day, which is on Friday, is actually looking dry. And then by the 16th, cold air is going to start to stream in from the north. So that cold front is going to pull in some of that cold air, and it looks like we're finally going to get temperatures feeling more like February as we get into late Sunday and Monday as that cold front pushes through, and that's going to allow for a dip in the jet stream, so that cold air starts to get pulled down from Canada, which gives us a cooler cooler period of weather coming in, I would say early next week, and that pattern change may be persistent. So through the 21st, we have the threat for some troughing here across the eastern U.S., which oftentimes allows that jet stream to dip and give us that cold potential, or that colder air potential. I'm not saying it's going to be frigid like January, but we could have some colder air kind of settling in through the last couple weeks of February. So after a really warm start in the 70s, it does look like some changes are coming down the pipeline. Here's a look at your snow through the 21st. This is our national blend of models. Just gives us kind of a cumulative approach to snowfall totals. Really nothing going on here across our neck of the woods. Maybe a little bit of high elevation accumulation by Sunday night into Monday, so we could have a little bit of wintry mix. But the high snow totals are going to be parts of Kentucky, up through Chicago, the plains, over into the mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast could also pick up some decent snowfall. Chance of 1 inch or of snow or more through the 25th, which takes us almost to the end of February. These aren't super accurate, but at least gives us some sort of idea of where the pattern's heading. About a 10 to 20% chance of that happening here in the Tennessee Valley. So any meaningful winter weather over the next couple of weeks is looking pretty low. But when we start to get dips in the jet stream and that cold air is trying to pull down, you know, things can happen. So we'll keep a close eye on that. If you're a fan of snow, I don't think we're done just yet. I'm not ready to put a fork in that steak to say, not yet, but we're getting close. But March sometimes is full of surprises too. I say we're getting close, but we still got a ways to go until the spring equinox, which is on the 20th of March. So again, winter weather not done just yet. I don't see anything popping up over the next 7 to 10 days. But after that, you know, we'll see how the pattern favors or how it trends. Is it going to favor colder air? Is it going to be warmer again? I do think we are trending towards a colder pattern, which means things could get a little more interesting. Or it may just be cool and rainy. That's also a high probability. So we'll keep a close eye on that moving forward. But here is your 7-day forecast. I feel like I'm kind of rambling now, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday. Could be alert days. We'll consult with the weather team here later this morning. And then Thursday and Friday drying out, highs in the 50s. More heavy rain and maybe some stronger storms this weekend, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But that's a look at your week ahead. We will have dry conditions Monday, Thursday, and Friday, but the other days are going to be rainy, so be prepared for that. Watch out for those of flood-prone areas, especially by the middle of the week. If you live near a creek or a stream or a roadway that floods frequently, may have some issues popping up a little bit later on. So we'll keep a close eye on that. If we have any flood watches, flood warnings issued, you'll be the first to know. Download that Local 3 weather app. Have a great day, and I'll be back on here tomorrow for another in-depth look at this rain that's coming our way.